quick intro of what we're doing here. Welcome to McSherrys Marketing Magic. Today we have Glen Asher with us. He is the title guy, and his Instagram is Ask the Title Guy. He knows everything about title. He created just like this beast of a company. He's in multiple states. He actually started in New York, I believe, and now he's headquartered out of Miami. So, Glen, thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you pertaining to real estate?
Sure.
And then we'll jump into the marketing.
Wonderful. Hey, everybody. How are you? It's Glen Asher, the title guy. I'm coming to you from Miami, where I have moved about 3.5 years ago now, down to Miami, and we have offices down here in Palm Beach and in Broward also. So we're Tri-County. Our corporate headquarters in Florida is out of Brickell, which is the financial center of South Florida, where we have 10 multilingual processors and people down here. And in the last 3.5 years, we've been able to brand and grow to be our underwriter's top agent in the state, which I'm very proud of. A lot of hard work and dedication went into building the staff and the team with a ton of experience. We just bring on an attorney who's New York and Florida barred. Florida is a state where you don't need an attorney. It's an as-is contract for residential purchase and sale transactions. So we've been able to grow with hard work and determination. And, you know, Kensington is a national firm. I've been there for almost 19 years. We're the largest privately held title company in the US, quarterbacked out of New York. So our corporate office is in Midtown, but we do have offices throughout the country: Texas, DC, Arizona, soon to be Georgia, Florida, obviously, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, and we keep growing as the market gets I guess stronger. The rates being so great, and you know, Florida being outside of what's going on now with COVID in Miami and being shut down today again. You know, we are in the strongest purchase market in the country. So hopefully New York will follow. I'm still doing a ton of New York business, thank God, and things are opening up and contracts are flying through. So exciting times for everyone.
Awesome. Yeah. And thank you for sharing that. And Florida is definitely an exciting place, and it's a place where we're doing a lot of our investing. I'm actually getting my license in Florida now, so there's a lot of stuff going on down there that I actually need to talk to you about, but we'll talk about that another time. But really, we're here to talk about the marketing, and that's something that you've always done such an amazing job with, you know, from the TV show that you're on to your social media on all different platforms. You know, you're all over Facebook, Instagram, everything. So how did you get started in just like the marketing of your business through social media?
So, you know, like I said, I've been doing it for 19 years. I'm old school at certain things, but very creative and fast forward on other things. When I came to Florida, I guess the best way to put it is, you know, to grow exponentially, you need to brand. So I have no salespeople that work for me. It's all me and processing. So how do I maintain a relationship with clients out of New York, out of Jersey, out of PA, wherever they are, you know, clients nationwide? How do you maintain that and build a business at the same time? You know, it used to be phone calls and visits and stop-ins and this and that. And, you know, New York got super restrictive with marketing and what you can do. So, you know, in New York, I couldn't even buy you a cup of coffee. It's not legal to do so. You know, entertaining as I got, you know, years past in the business and experience, you know, I didn't do the dinner thing and the drop-off donuts thing anymore, really. It was about building business together and leveraging business and building long-lasting relationships. But when it comes to social media and marketing, when I came down here, I had to build a brand. So the easiest way to build a brand and start from scratch pretty much is social, digital. Obviously, the TV thing fell in my lap a couple of years ago, which we're not doing anymore as of right now. And we had, you know, 4 TV shows. The one in Miami was on CBS every Sunday for 2 years running with no breaks and only a few reruns. So it was a lot of hard work. a lot of dedication to the agents and maintaining my business at the same time, which was not easy. Thank God for Lynette, my assistant, who was able to kind of quarterback the operational piece of the show, and allowed me to be creative. I still try to be as creative as possible when it comes to marketing. Title is the X factor, right, John? So, title people, you don't see them often. They're not in the media. A lot of them don't do social for their business. Or if they do, it's just, hey, I closed this or I closed that. To me, it's more than that, right? It's
Sure.
about bridging a gap between New York and Florida first, to make introductions for agents, and also to be ahead of the times. Being that I
Sure.
did the video stuff on TV, I still have the creative capacity and the videography to work with, and I'm going to be coming out with title tips now. And I always try to be new and different, and try something. Nobody, I have no competition in my space because nobody does it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
So,
it's true.
it makes it easy. I also like to market for the times, right? You can't do a piece today that was from a year ago. It just doesn't make sense in our industry. And our industry and your industry and the mortgage industry is always changing and evolving, right? So there's new laws, new regulations, COVID, remote online notaries. There's just so much that you can feed from content-wise, to market to your clientele. And that's what I try to do. And especially with the restrictions now, you can't go visit everyone, right? Like I haven't been to New York in 7 months. So, besides my family and everything else, clients, how do you maintain a relationship between John and myself, and know what John is doing in his life and his business? And I have 1,000 Johns that I deal with, or 100 Johns that I deal with. How do you do it? So I found that touching people through social, is just as good, if not better, to stay in touch than an email that's easily deleted, or a phone. How I'm on the phone all day long to begin with, especially now, putting out fires and dealing with title issues all over the country and internationally. So it's not as easy as I would like it to be, but it's a lot of hard work. As you know, deals just don't get done as easily as they did years past, from the mortgage piece to the real estate piece and the title piece especially. So.
Sure. And, it's something that you've always done a great job marketing to your sphere of influence. And you touched on how now social media could even be better in some ways, especially because of video, and such a great way to connect with people when you're actually showing yourself. It's not just a phone call. It's not just a photograph. It's a video. And I think it's really interactive and a great way to kind of connect. And something that, you also do really well is, because there's not a lot of title people doing what you do, I think it's great and you really stand out. And I think also consumers don't really understand how important title is. And even in Florida, it's even more important. So
Sure.
I think it's great that you provide that service for people and provide those tips and everything. I think that's a great resource.
And as you know, John, because I had you on the state of the marketing, I wanted to always find a way to bring clientele together, right? And I did the state of the marketing, which was a special video conference channel with my videographers and my social media, who VOP Media has been amazing to me, bridging the gap on this stuff, and how to stay relevant. And also, people want to know, if you go to my website, which is askthetitleguy.com, I market things differently. So there's a tab for state of the marketing, which you'll see John on, and some other agents from here to Boston to New York to New Jersey, top producers, people that do things differently, to give a little insight into how they are approaching things. It's not a sales pitch. It's just regular people doing regular jobs in a tough environment, and how they, as the top of the class, excel and use technology and savvy salesmanship and what have you, to bridge the gap, because we can't see each other and we can't interact like we used to. So that's a big part of the the marketing strategy.
Sure. And I think it's a great strategy. And I don't know any other title companies that do that. But talking about the tough situation that we're in now, You know, I find that it's actually a great opportunity for people to start doing what we do, to start creating content and marketing, which is why the reason I created the show is to help other real estate professionals across, lenders, agents, everybody, real estate investors to get started creating content. So that brings me to my next question. You know, fear is a big part of that. And I know it was a big part for me getting started, just getting on camera and posting it out there for people to see. How was that for you? Was there a lot of fear involved when you started making videos? And if there was, how did you get through that fear?
So the videos, as far as the online content stuff, that's easy because to me, we're not talking about something that I don't know. This is my life.
Right.
This is what I do. Just like this interview, when we spoke and talked about it, I said, John, you know what? I'd rather not even know what questions they're going to ask, because if I don't know my business and I can't express what I do and how I feel and what have you, then at the end of the day, why would you use me, right?
Right.
If you don't know your business well and you can't reflect and discuss what business, attributes change, you have to be on top of your game. And as far as fear goes, I'm not afraid of the camera, as you guys know, if you haven't seen me on before, and what I do with content. I try to be different, but get people to understand who I am and what I do. And it's sometimes really difficult because perception is reality, and the people don't see the early mornings. They don't see the spreadsheets at 4 a.m. and the marketing plans and and the social media strategy that I don't have time during the day to do. So if I want to do it, you have to do it before. And after work, I go home and spend an hour or two with my family, because that's who I am and that's what I want to do. And that's what everybody should do if that's in their cards.
Sure.
And I'm doing some new stuff. So I have an app that you can download on my website, which gives calculated closing costs right now in New York, New Jersey, and Florida. I just purchased the list of every realtor in America, and I'm having my app updated to be, first of all, it could be put on your phone very easily. So when you're a realtor in Texas and you want to go to a listing appointment, you can use my app and put in the parameters and give the client, their net right there on the spot. No one really uses that to their advantage. And that's coming out probably, I'd say August 1, or it's being beta tested right now. But all of that stuff, including social media strategy with Facebook lookalike ads, and how do I show up in your newsfeed every day with my title app? Well, you got to use the people that I've learned in time to give jobs away to people that you trust. And social media, it's great. Now, it took me 3 years, 2.5 years to find someone that I jived with, that understood who I am and what my goals are, from the simple post to my overall strategy. And I've got that now, so that's important.
Awesome. Yeah. And you said a lot of powerful things, from structuring your day to finding ways to fit the social media in. It has to be part of your business. But then you also talked about that app. I think that that's amazing. It's a great way to provide value, which I think is so important, especially creating for social media. It's like we want to provide value, and that's what we're doing here. And that's what we're doing right now. But also having that app that you can give to real estate agents to give more value to homeowners. I think that that's amazing. And you also talked about, once you hit a certain point, it's good to replace yourself and to start hiring and to find ways to really grow your business. And you still focus on the creative, which is great. And it's still you, it's still your personality. But now that you've accomplished so much, you could actually start bringing people in and plugging people into your system to create more social media. So I think that that's amazing. So talking about that and your system, how do you create your videos? I know you have a mix of different things, of really super high-end professional stuff, and you also do some homemade stuff, or like just with your cell phone. So why don't you tell us about how you create?
So I have a plan overall. So Tuesday, I'm a music lover. I've always have been, all types of music, but that's just like you. We share that commonality.
Right.
I want people to understand who I am. So when I wake up at 5:45 in the morning or 5:30, after I came to the office and worked for 2 hours and go back to sleep, and then now I go for a 20-mile bike ride, for an hour and a half in the morning. I'm chasing sunrise, right? I'm looking at sunrise, and I want people to understand, and they could delete if they want. They don't have to watch, but this is who I am. This is how I feel. This is what I'm seeing as I drive by, South Point Park on Monday morning, and I'm watching the sunrise. Obviously the goal is to bring exposure to different parts of Florida for New York, especially now, to show people kind of what it's really like. From a person to person standpoint, and having that cell phone. I mean, I use my cell phone, and you could see the difference in my posts from what I do to what's, done on the outside. But, Wednesday morning, we're doing another series of shoots from, 6 o'clock in the morning till 10, and then work all day. So, I'm doing it not during the day when I don't have time to do anything. I'll get off this to 100 emails because the market is good. And, I need to use the stuff that's calculated and planned is more towards the business acumen and also my personality. The stuff that I do on the phone in the morning, or a picture of my daughter, or at the pool, or whatever it is, that's just personal. And that, I think that to understand who I am and to appreciate what I do in business, which is my life, and for those of you that are watching, or those of you that watch, know that I am a 24/7 guy. And I want people to kind of know who I am. And it's hard to show that when all they see might be me in a $30 million mansion showing with, a Real Trends top agent. That's who I work with. And I appreciate, the fact that I'm able to do that. But I also do $100,000 deals in Maryland. And there's nothing that we don't do. I want people to know that just because I had a TV show for a while, or was a host of whatever you want to call it, that's not everything that I do. I don't close just super high-end luxury real estate. I close deals for friends, family, and I'm a leverage point and a nucleus for a lot of people that, hey, Glenn, I need an agent. I need an accountant. I need whatever it might be. That's how I came up with Ask the Title Guy. And to me, that's a better resource than anything, is to know that you could pick up the phone and have somebody at the end of the phone that'll answer the questions that you need and put you in the right direction.
Sure. And that's actually something that Tony Robbins talks a lot about. It's not about, having the resources. It's about being resourceful, and, maybe you don't have the answer, but you know where to get it. And, that's something I think you do really well. Like, I just asked you a few minutes ago that I needed a referral, and you sent me a referral within like 2 seconds. But, I really like what you said about the way that you create content, because I have a similar way of doing it. I just pull out my phone whenever I see something, and I just take a quick shot, and then I figure it out later. So I just try to take action, but I also get really busy like you, and it's hard to fit it in. But, my advice to people at home is, just try to shoot stuff randomly, whether you're on the bike like Glenn, or if you're going to get a cup of coffee. I think people want to see the personal side of you, and that's something that I think you do really well, Glenn. It's something I try to do as well. I show the business, and I also do the whole spectrum as well. Everything from $100,000 property up to, a $5 or $10 million property. And so I try to show that entire spectrum. So I think it's good to show that, so that people know that if they need a referral, that they can come to you, because you could handle anything. So I think that's great what you said. So now when you post, where do you post all of your content? I know that you're on Facebook. I know you're on LinkedIn. I know you're on Instagram. Are those the main platforms?
Yeah. So I felt that my LinkedIn was lacking, that I was just using Facebook and Instagram. So my social media team now includes LinkedIn in my posts. And, it's funny, when you post something, like I just posted a recent vlog I did with me in South Point Park, and then on the beach, and it was super professionally done. And I got a call from one of my friends that happened to watch it, and he's laughing at me, and he's like, dude, I know you since you're 13 years old, and I look at it and I laugh because I know you so well and so long. But at the end of the day, it's done right. It's done professional. It gives good information. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm very passionate about what I do, as you know. And that morning that I did the shoot, I was up at 4 o'clock with 5 different outfits and putting a bike in a truck and driving. Like, it's a lot of work. It's not like I have a production team like it's ABC News. I am the production team. I am the creative. Obviously, I bounce ideas off people and find it out. And what's tough to learn is, after all the hard work, will people appreciate it? So that is the internal struggle. Can you look at a comment that someone doesn't like it and delete it, or not pay attention to it? Or do you internalize it and say, this guy's right, this guy's wrong, whatever it is? So that's also a difficult part about doing social and digital and what have you, and putting yourself out there. I mean, I really put myself out there when it comes to content on what I do. And obviously, some of it is appreciated by a lot. I look at my metrics at the end of the month and I'm like, how the hell did this video get, 3,000 views? And the one that I thought was awesome got 50 views, so
right.
The formula never works. I'm sure you see the same thing. You're like,
same thing. Yeah.
And you could be at the same time. You could be at the,
Right.
every day post at 11, every day post at 7, whatever it is. There is obviously a formula that works better on different platforms, right? And the biggest thing for me in the marketing and for whoever's watching, for title, the ROI is very difficult to manage, right? So unless someone calls me and says, hey, I saw your Facebook ad, or hey, I saw your Instagram post, I'd love to start working with you, which does happen, don't get me wrong. It's very difficult to convert. And part of the battle is doing this, right? Is doing the content, which we're doing as we speak. Now the second battle is taking that content and mashing it up, as I call it, or taking it, using the audio, using the video. I have enough videos to last me for the next 5 years, but it's about editing properly, right? And taking your message and using the right channels to distribute that message. And in my eyes, I've been very unsuccessful in certain attributes of my social and digital, which I'm working on to get better. I look at YouTube, for instance. I have a YouTube channel with so much amazing content and not a lot of subscribers, because I just never really pushed the envelope. There's only so much you can do, right? And then I look at my daughter watching some guy opening an LOL toy with 40 million subscribers. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And it's not even to make money off of YouTube. It's just to get the exposure. And it's constantly evolving. I also, I don't know if you do this, but I also try to ask a lot of questions like, hey, to clients, hey, what would you like to see? Or, what do you think would be an interesting, thing to go after? As far as like content wise. So I'm always thinking. I always have my phone. If I have to take notes, I know you probably do this as well. If I'm somewhere, there are scheduled videography bookings, and then the rest is done on my phone. And I don't walk around with a gimbal. I don't do any of that stuff. If I feel something, I take a picture. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's not enough. You never know, right?
Right. Exactly. But the good thing is you're taking action, you're figuring things out, you're trying things, and you're, looking at it and saying, all right, this worked, that didn't work, and then making adjustments. And, it's funny that you talk about like some posts do really well and some don't. And for me, it's like when I post a dancing video, it gets like 3,000 views. And then I like do something really nice and produce, and I'm doing a walkthrough of like a renovation, and like 50 people look at it. So, it's the same thing with me, but, it's really just about trial error. And the good thing is that we keep putting out, and I think Gary Vee said, attention is currency. It's like, we just need to get, as many eyes on it as possible. There really is no calculated ROI. We could try to figure it out, but I think a lot of it is nourishing the sphere of influence and letting people know, reminding them what we do and letting them know that we're here to help them when they're ready to either buy or sell a property. So
right. And one more thing is, so one of the things that I'm proud of doing and still can continue to do is working with really good agents. And listen, working with great agents is twofold, right? You have to deal with a busy person, usually with a big personality that is very bright and very well educated in the business. On the flip side, you have to also work really hard to make sure that not only they're happy, their clients, and there's so much variability these days. It's not like it used to be order, schedule, close, order, schedule, close. Today, I'm closing a seller's docs Florida purchase with FERPTA, a foreign national remote online notary, an assignment of lease. They now called me this morning to do a 1031 exchange, which I don't think is going to be done. It gets better. With FinCEN, the LLC had to be amended to include an attorney in fact to sign the docs on behalf of the client who's quarantined overseas. So, I mean, in one transaction. So,
wow, that's complicated.
It's super complicated. I'm nobody without my team. I say it all the time. I really mean it. From Edison, my assistant, to Lynette, my executive assistant, to all of the processors in Florida, New York, and wherever they are throughout the country handling my files. Marketing is great, but if you can't come through at the end of the day and the client is not happy and the consumer is not happy, all of it means nothing. So working with great agents is something I'm proud of. A lot of the video stuff I do, and Tom Ferry's Real Trends just came out. I'm putting together a marketing piece because I'm proud to say that I work with some of the best agents in the country. That's I mean, if I'm not, then what am I doing this for? So
right.
Congratulations to everybody who made the list, by the way.
Right. Yeah. And something you said that's really important is execution. It's like we could do a lot of this marketing and create a lot of buzz, but if we're not executing it and getting the job done, what good is it? So
yeah, and everybody thinks you're full of shit.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, great. I'm on TV, wonderful, but I can't close.
Right. Yeah.
All of this is a means to an end.
Right.
But if you can't do what your core nature stuff is, and that to me is obviously title and closing nationally and internationally if need be. I got to be the best at that. Everything else falls into place.
Right. And something to share with the new agents or new lenders getting into the businesses, you may not have a lot of business or you may not be doing a lot of closing, but you could document the process and show the struggle, show what you're going through, show that you're out showing buyers and working with people. Just find a way to connect and just get in front of people every single day.
And I think, John, another thing real quick is you have to be not only a student, you have to be creative, but you also have to be consistent. The last video I did about consistency. It's very important to me to know that, while I'm on this phone, I've gotten a million phone calls. And as soon as I hang up, before I do anything else, I'll start calling people back because that's what I do, right? I have answers. People need to close. They need their cash. They need to do this, do that. People are waiting on my responses from lenders to processors in order for things to happen. So, so consistency and stay true to your message, whatever that message is.
100%. So where do you see the future of video content creation and social media going? And where do you see it going in your business? Like, what are some of your plans for the future?
So, I think things evolve on a daily basis. So sometimes it takes communication to brainstorm, to think what's next. Showing property with high-end agents in beautiful areas is something I've done for now 3 years on TV or what have you. It's a great facet. It brings leverage and exposure to my brand as well as the agent's brand, whether they work for DE or they work for another company, to show that property. I share a lot of stuff on Facebook and social media. Why? Because I know there's people watching. And they're not going to follow the other person. They follow me. So I could be a bridge from one agent in one area to someone in a different area. And maybe they like the property. I sold, I don't know, maybe 3 houses last year on social media where one of my friends saw a post and said, hey, can you introduce me to the agent? Boom, introduction done. And then, call me when you're ready to close. That kind of thing. So as far as the future goes, what I did with State of the Marketing is pretty fast forward. No one's done that. I'm going to be, actually Wednesday was supposed to be a shoot that got postponed a couple of weeks. Now I'm going to be featuring development projects. We're going to be featuring the first project is actually with Douglas Elliman and Arte, which is a project in Surfside with developer Alex Sapir and Tara West. We're going to feature Jay Parker, the CEO of Douglas Elliman in Florida rather, who's a gentleman, and Tara's an amazing agent, hosted a TV show also. So we're going to start bringing exposure to development projects, and if it's not marketed to the consumer, then and I want to be a part of that brand and help them grow, in turn building relationships and doing business, I'm going to help to market that project, and Arte will be the first one like it.
Wow, that's like super innovating, and I think that that's a really special thing about what you do. And that brings me to my next question is, the title of the show is Marketing Magic, and for me, it's really just been about consistent, imperfective, just taking action, not focusing on being perfect, but just taking action. If I stumble over my words, it's fine. I still post it. I just try to stay as consistent as possible and keep putting out the volume, which has helped me build a business. So for you, what would you say is your marketing magic, the magic that really helped you grow your business? The one thing.
So the one thing that's marketing magic is, I think that it's me. It's my personality and passion. I think that shines through. Some people get it, some people don't. If they don't, then keep watching. If they don't, people don't like what I do or who I am, they could unsubscribe, they could delete or unfollow. If they like what I do, then reach out. Maybe we could do something together. Or just follow me, because I'm bringing as much knowledge as I can in a very boring space, right? I do title insurance. We pull land records and type a report and give you a policy. When you break it down, it's the most boring Dewey Decimal style librarian stuff you can do. I take it to a new level. Title from a new perspective is my hashtag, is my tagline. Why? Because I do things a lot different than everyone in my industry. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing on Wednesday is showing people that just because I'm on TV and I'm a little flashy and I do things a little bit differently and I put myself out there, doesn't mean that I don't have the same knowledge or more than your ESQ or your title person or whatever it might be. Just because I'm out there or I'm wearing a flowered shirt compared to a tie and a suit, which I have too, doesn't mean that I don't have, don't judge a book by its cover. It's not all flash. It's not all TV media stuff. I'm closing a ton of business because of my experience and my know-how in title. This is just a way to take that to the media level. Sure.
And I love that, because really it's about just being you, and that's what's special, and that's what's marketing or magical about your marketing, where a lot of people feel like, oh, they need to fit into a certain way, they need to dress a certain way. And I feel like that's something that I've always done too, is I've always just been myself, and I celebrate who I am, and it helps me connect on a deeper level. So I think that that's like super, super powerful. Why don't you share with everyone at home a challenge that you can give them, just a little project, something they can do to kind of create some marketing magic, something that they could either post in their stories, or maybe send it to us directly if they want to send it to @TheTitleGuy, or send it to me on my page. We could look at it together and talk about it, but really just give them a project to kind of help get out of their shell to create some marketing magic.
So a lot of people are not comfortable on the camera. I think that people don't realize that professional videography and photography could be done without a lot of money. So, if you're standing there, you have to learn about lighting, you have to learn about angles and what have you. Start taking some pictures randomly. That's a good idea. Get a good camera. I use a Samsung. I'm not an Apple guy. I've always been a Samsung guy. I use the latest S20 Ultra. And the new iPhone 11 has an amazing camera. So the Samsung is amazing. Go out. It's the summertime. Go shoot some pictures. Go to the lake. Go to the ocean. Go to your city. Go to whatever, and just look out for an eye. And then look at it. Look at the photo, and think about how that affects your life and how you could relate it to the real estate business. right? Or whatever business you're in. You know, you have to be relative. Just taking a picture of a bridge doesn't mean anything, right? It's just a bridge. They've seen pictures of bridges, but when you throw something in it, like the path to success is, you know, there's always a bridge to the path to success, or something along those lines, and make it relative to your business and your life and about you, then I think that's the most basic thing. If you can't take a picture and compare it to your business, no matter what business you're in, right? If you're a printer, you take a picture of a printing machine or a copy machine, you know, it's whatever business you're in, you dial it down to the most basic structure, and try to plug it in somehow and send an email to yourself, and then make your friends look at it. And before you post it, or if you're embarrassed or you feel like it didn't come out good, and send it to people that are going to be objective. You know, you know, one of my good friends for a long time is someone who's very good at video, Ralph DeGuinara, from Cardinal. Ralph's a very close friend of mine for a lot of years. I respect what he does and his dedication and his video and his technology. And, you know, what I do is when I have an idea, sometimes I run it by him, or I send him something and say, Ralph, what do you think? And he's honest, and I'm honest with him. And he does the same thing with me with certain things. Hey, what do you think? You know, that's what we're here for, right? We're not doing it I'm not doing it to one up someone. I'm doing it because I think that you have something insightful that you can bring to the table, right? And surround yourself with people of like mind when you're doing this, and someone who's going to be objective to you and not, you know, turn to you and say, oh, that looks good, I'll talk to you later, and hang up the phone. That doesn't work. You know, and don't be, you know, I'm the least patient guy I know, but sometimes you just gotta know that the world doesn't revolve around you, and when they get a chance to look at it or respond, they will, and hopefully they'll do it with content and some, you know, some feeling that it's going to help you, because if not, there's no reason to go to a person and have that interaction unless they're willing to spend a couple of minutes talking about it, and you have to do the same and have an open ear.
Sure. I think that's great advice, and something I try to do a lot of is I take a lot of photos and I do it through my own filter, and I relate it to my business, which is real estate. So I feel like not only that, but beauty is everywhere, and it's just really about your perception. So I think that's a great challenge for people. You know, go out there, take some photos related to your business, and tag us or tag hashtag McSherry Challenge. We would love to see your work. And you also touched on a collab. I think it's great to collaborate with other people. Not only review your ideas with each other, which I think is a great idea, but also collaborate with that person so that you could feed off of each other's market, which is something that we're doing today, is that we share the same market and we're collaborating, we're building ideas together. I think that's great advice for everybody, but we would love to see your work, everyone at home. So get out there and take some photos. So Glenn, thank you so much for this. Thank you for providing tons of value. You said a lot of great stuff that I believe is going to help a lot of people. So why don't you close this out? And we'll go from there.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it. You know, if you want to look at my app, if you want to check out my stuff, it's askthetitleguy.com. You can get the download app there. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Ask the Title Guy, same thing. I'll be sharing this. There's a watch party now, but I'll be sharing it to my social also. And I appreciate everyone's time. If you have individual questions, just reach out to me at Asher, Gasher @kvnational.com. And I'd be happy to help you. We close nationally, so whatever you need, I'm here for you. And we appreciate your time.
All right, Glenn, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you everyone for watching McSherrys Marketing Magic. I hope you guys got some value out of this. I know I did. I think it was super powerful. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
What I do to what's